All right, so are you going to be the next Forex success story? Let's uncover the steps to kickstart your journey in 2024. Today, we're going to dive into the world of Forex trading for beginners. Whether you're looking at making your first trade or just curious about how it all works, you are in the right place. By the end of this video, you're going to understand a lot more about Forex trading. You will know where and how to analyze markets, and you will know how to actually place trades for real, so you can start your journey as a trader. Make sure you stick around until the very end of the video so you don't miss any of the steps. First things first, what is Forex trading? Forex, short for foreign exchange, is the largest financial market in the world. It's where currencies are traded 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. As a Forex trader, you will be buying and selling currencies, aiming to profit from changes in their value. Most of you have already been involved in the world of Forex trading without even realizing it. You have traveled to a foreign destination for work or holiday, and you need to use the currency of that country. So you exchange your country's money for the country that you are in's money. Just like that, you have taken part in Forex trading. Now, obviously, the Forex market is a lot bigger than that, but at its core, that is basically what is going on. Buying and selling of currencies. Unlike stocks, Forex trading involves pairs. For example, the Euro USD, which is the Euro against the USD, where you're essentially betting on the strength of the Euro against the USD. There's a lot of other pairs, for example, GBP USD, GBP JPY. Any of the currencies you can think of, you can trade against each other in the Forex market. All right, now let's get to the juicy bits. How to actually get started in Forex trading. The first step I would suggest is education. And I'm not talking about educating yourself to the point of an absolute pro. I just mean to get the core fundamental understanding of what Forex is and how markets move, price action, all the basic things that you would need to understand to actually trade. Because I would not send you to the live market without any understanding. That would be irresponsible. That is essentially gambling. You need to get some kind of understanding about what Forex trading is, some of the terms that are used, for example, stop loss, take profit, pips, spread, commissions, all these kind of things, just to get an understanding of what they are. And there are plenty of resources available out there, from online courses, webinars, ebooks, and websites. One of the websites I'm going to suggest today, which is a good starting point, is this one right over here. Baby Pips is a great place to start if you are just starting out, because they make it very simple. They go over the key concepts. Like you can see here, they touch over things like what is a pip in Forex, what is a lot, so spread, all these things I was talking about are all covered in here. So a very good place to start, and I would highly recommend you just go spend a little bit of time on babypips.com and just get some fundamental understanding of the market and how it actually works. So what's the next step then? Next, you will need to choose a broker. A broker acts as the gateway to the Forex market. Think of the broker as the middleman, the man who is going to take your trade, the trade you want to execute on, and he will be the one putting it in the live market and actually making your trade live. Now, there are a lot of brokers out there, so be very careful which one you choose. Number one, look for brokers that are regulated. Look for brokers that offer low spread and ones that have user-friendly platforms. So for example, I have just come over to Google and just typed in best brokers for Forex. And be very careful, because these first few are always going to be sponsored, which means they are paying to be there. So I would always just scroll down a little bit and go to the ones that are not sponsored, because these are the ones that have worked their way to this first page and obviously have very good SEO and have earn their way to be there, so are probably reliable. So let's just click on one of them, for example. So this will give a full list of their recommendations for brokers. Now, don't choose the first one you click on. I would say look at a few different options, look at different sites that are giving their suggestions on brokers. Go through the brokers. Like I said, you want to be looking at spread. Okay, before I carry on, let me just tell you what spread is. Spread is the amount, the difference between the price, the actual price, and the price that the broker is going to actually give you. So for example, if you see price at a specific point and you are buying, you might actually be slightly below that. So normally what will happen if there's spread, most brokers will have spread. You'll notice that when you first enter the trade, the second you hit enter, you will always start slightly in the red, and that is because of spread. So be very careful when you are trading the very low time frames, because spreads can definitely hurt you, and make sure you understand what your broker spreads are. The other thing would be commissions. So this is how the brokers make money. They make money by basically taking a commission off of every trade that you place. The bigger the lot size, the bigger the trade, the bigger the commission. So make sure you have an understanding of what the commissions are, because don't let that take you by surprise when there's massive commissions and you wonder how you are not making the profits you thought you were. So bear that in mind, guys. So you want to just go through, pick a broker that looks good for you. Make sure you understand where they are based, where their servers are based in terms of time frame, because all of this matters. And then once you've selected your broker, you would sign up. So for example, I am with Pepperstone. I'm with a lot of other brokers. I'm not suggesting them. I'm just using this as an example. So you would basically join the broker and you would go through a sign up process. And normally if you are going to be placing real money, you would go through some kind of process where they would ask for some documentation like your identification. They would also normally ask for proof of address. And then once you've gone through that verification process and you have an account with these and you're ready to go, you can then do one of two things. If you're still very new, you can actually, I think most brokers will give you an option to open a demo account, and it's a great way to just get used to trading. Open a demo account. I would always suggest that. Do that first. Open a demo account and start trading on that demo account just to get a feel for their spreads, for their commissions, so you can start understanding different times, how these spreads, different pairs, how all of this stuff affects this broker's pairs, whatever it is you're trading. And then once you're used to that, you can then go to the live market, put in a bit of money. You would actually deposit some cash, and then you are actually going to be trading that money for real, and you can either lose it or make more money. And that's how it is, because essentially that is how you actually make money. Where does the cash come from? A lot of people ask that. Where do you actually make money from? How do you make money? Well, the truth is you make money when other people lose. Now, 80 to 90% of all retail traders are losing. So there is a huge pool of money floating around that is up for grabs, but just try and make sure you are not one of those. And that is done through making sure you've got good strategy, making sure you have an understanding of the market. And this will all come over time, but just make sure you're not jumping in with big amounts with live accounts before you have an understanding of what it is you're doing, the strategy you're going to be using, etc., etc. We'll go over this more in more detail. So that is the broker, guys. You've set up your account, you're ready to trade. What is next? So next, you want to basically have a platform where you can do your analysis. Analysis is very important. Now, there are two main types of analysis. There is fundamental analysis, and then there is technical analysis. Fundamental analysis involves studying economic news and indicators and the big news events that are happening around the world, because these affect currencies, these affect the market. And then the other type of analysis is technical analysis, which is focused on the chart itself, watching price action, just seeing what price is doing Is the market trending? Is it just stagnant? Is it, you know, what is market doing? You do your analysis, and once you're happy, that's when you'll enter. So for me, there's only one place really that I would suggest to do that, and that is TradingView. TradingView.com is, in my opinion, the best place for technical analysis. So this is the technical analysis. We'll go over the fundamental analysis after this. So essentially you can log in, you can come into TradingView, you can sign up, you can get a free account, and that essentially is all you need in the beginning. You would basically be, when you first log on, you would see this page, and then you basically just want to go to super charts. And once you're in super charts, there's a lot of other options, but for the actual analysis, all right, let me just hide everything over here. All right, guys, so this right here is the chart. This is where you're going to be doing your analysis. Now, let me give you a brief little overview of this because I know it looks like there's a lot going on. On the left side over here, you basically just have your analysis tools. These are all over here. What I like to do is I like to have all of the tools that I use most often put on a bar like this. How do you do that? Very simple. You would go to the tools that you use and you would just click on, so if I click on this little favorite, add to favorites, you'll see now that has been added to my favorites right over there. If I go back and I remove the ray, if you look at that little bar at the top, there we go, it's gone. So you basically would just build your own. You don't have to. I like to do it just so everything's in one place, everything, all the tools that I use. So essentially I'm not really doing too much over there unless there's a tool that I don't have on my favorites bar, then I will jump over here and find it over there. So that's your tools. Then up the top here, you have the chart that you're currently on. You can also see your charts if you go over to the right here and click this little icon at the top. You'll see the pairs that are over here. Now, when you first open this, I think it'll probably be in, it looks slightly different, and then you can basically come in and create your own list here like I've done. I've just got SB pairs there. These are the pairs that I've put on. So you can create your own list over there. But let's carry on over here. This is the market you're currently in. If you click that, you can go to any market. So now the one thing that's very important here, guys, you can see there's so many different Euro USDs. Why is that? Because it's all the different brokers. So if I'm with Pepperstone, let's say, for example, or Oanda, or whichever broker I'm using, I would make sure that I'm using that chart, because then they're going to match in terms of the actual feed, okay? Because some charts will have slightly different feeds, some brokers will have slightly different feeds, and you might see that in the form of a gap where there's not a gap on another. So just make sure that your whatever broker you're using the same chart here on TradingView for your analysis. Okay, let's move on. The next thing we have up here is we have the time frames. So depending on your strategy, depending on how you are trading, you can just have a look at your time frames. Let me just close that. So you've got all your time frames along here, and you see at the bottom it also is showing you all the different news events, but we're going to touch base on this. So this chart, TradingView, which is your technical analysis, also does bring in the fundamental analysis. I don't necessarily use this. I use this just as a reminder sometimes, because sometimes if I have forgotten that there is news, I will see that it is over there. So yeah, these are your time frames. You just go to the time frame that you are trading on based on your strategy, and you will then go ahead and start your analysis. Now, the next thing along here is the type of bars, how your bars are going to look. For the most part, I would say stick to the candles, the Japanese candlestick, which are these ones, your basic candlestick, because I think most strategies, most of the education you will be looking at and getting will probably be talking about these candlesticks. These are the most common and the most popular. But you can go to, for example, lines if you want to be drawing some trend lines, for example. Okay, it's just showing everything. I want to delete that. Let's just hide again. So if you want to draw some lines, some support and resistance lines, that's a great way to do that. That's the only time I'll ever switch between the candles, is probably for the line, but it's all dependent on what you are doing, right? So let's move on. The next one is quite a big one here, is your indicators. Now on a free account, I think you only get access to 1 or maybe 2 indicators, so just bear that in mind. If you want to use more, you will have to go to one of their paid packages, and I think to get 3 or 4 indicators you would be looking at about $14 a month, something like that. So it's not too bad, but it's all dependent on what your strategy is and whether or not you need those or not. So TradingView has an incredible amount of indicators. So you've got your basic ones. These are just my favorites. So I will go to, let me click on, I can search anything, but you can go to technical. They're all over there. Everything is there. So you can basically just search any indicator you want. So if you found a strategy and they said, this is the indicator I use, you'll probably find it over here on TradingView. So incredible. One of the best tools, I would say. One of the best parts of that is the indicators. But at the same time, don't go and stack your chart full of indicators or too many indicators, because that can also get quite confusing. The next one is just templates. I don't really use templates, but you can if you want. Then you've got an alert, so you can set alerts. For example, I want to, let's say you can see this little plus sign over here. Let's say I'm waiting for price to come down to this line over there. I would then just add an alert, and it will tell add an alert, and it will just beep or give me a notification on my screen when that is hit. And then obviously, like I said, this is my favorites bar. I just put it up there. And then the rest of them, this is just your layout. You can save your layout and you can change your layout. So you can just fiddle around with whatever layouts you have, you know, maybe different strategies, you can create different layouts. So that's that. And then on this one, the only one I would really ever be using is probably this one over here, which is the watch list. And that's exactly what it is. You create your own watch list. How do I add? So let's say I want to add a new pair to my watch list. Let's go to GBP, JPY, for example. There we go. So I can then just click this little red icon and it's going to add to my list over here. You'll see there, if I go to close that, if I then go to my red list, you can see that GBP will be there. Okay, I've got a lot of my red list there. If I want to add on one of my lists, my own created lists, then I would basically go to that and I would just click the plus sign over there and I would do the same thing, GBP, JPY, for example, and I could add, where is Pepperstone? There we go, just like that. And you can see my pair has been added to my watch list. Okay, so that's how you would add it. And then you want to be doing your analysis here, guys. So you're not going to be actually taking trades here. You are only going to be doing your analysis. So whatever your strategy is, you're going to be doing your analysis. And when you're ready to take your trade, that is when we now go on to the next step, which is the fundamental analysis, which is news. So my suggestions are obviously an economic calendar. Now I would suggest two economic calendars, the two that I use. Now you can use any you want. These are just my suggestions. Is forexfactory.com. You can see here, and it basically is the economic calendar. You can see there. So let's say, for example, you're looking at the calendar. What does this all mean? You can see the currency that it is going to be affecting, where the news is coming from. So for example, let's say tomorrow, for me, Thursday, we have got red folder news. So the red indicates a high impact. It means it's going to impact the pair, and any pair that are trading against that currency, you've got to be careful because there could be a potential volatility, and it could definitely affect those pairs. So for example, tomorrow we've got core CPI, big news coming out for the USD. So you've got to be very careful. A lot of people like to trade news, but you've got to understand the news before you trade it. For me, I like to wait for the news to happen, then I will see the reaction, and then you can trade based off that reaction if that works with your strategy. So that is the calendar. The other calendar I like to use is this one over here, investing.com. And the only other thing I would say when you are doing these, make sure your time is going to match your broker's time, or the where you're taking your trades, so that you've got those lined up, because there's no point being a few hours off. You think news is happening and it doesn't. So make sure your times are matching with where your broker is and where your economic calendar is. Some brokers will actually have economic calendars on their platform, so if that is the case, I would also suggest using their economic calendar. They'll probably put in all the relevant news events, so make sure you check that out, because that is very important. Right now, as I said before, we are going to be actually looking at taking the trades. So how do we take trades? So there are a lot of different platforms you can use to actually take trades, to connect to your broker's account. So once you've created your broker, you would set up an account. You would set up a trading account where you would essentially be depositing money, or it could be a demo. And then that account, you would get an account number and you would get a password. And then that you would be using a platform to connect to your broker's account where you can actually place the trades. Okay, so for me, I would say the most popular are MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. Those are the ones I use. There are a lot of other platforms out there, very popular as well, so make sure you do your research, play around a little bit and see which ones you like. There's one called CTrader. There's so many different ones. Those are the main ones. I think your MT4, MT5, CTrader. But like I said, there's a lot of different other ones. So you want to come in and you want to basically download MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. Which one? It doesn't really matter. MetaTrader 5 is basically a newer version, but a lot of people still prefer MetaTrader 4. I think MetaTrader 5 is better for back testing and doing some tests in terms of testing strategies and stuff like that. I think MetaTrader 5 is generally better for that. I use MetaTrader 5 just because I use an EA, a bot, to trade alongside my manual, and that I can only do on MT5 with the bot I use. So that's the only reason. I used to trade a lot on MT4. So this is what you would do. You would basically come here and you would download MetaTrader 5. Once it's downloaded, you would install that. Now there's two options. You can have this directly on your computer, on your Mac. You can see they offer it for Mac, Linux. Okay, so there's also MetaTrader 5. So you've got 4 or 5, whichever you use. Mac, web terminal, Windows, Linux. So you choose where you want to actually install that. And once you've installed it, you would open it and it would look something like this. This here is the interface of MetaTrader 5. You can see I am connected to an account. So if I click over here, this is your account. So you can basically go here to open an account, and you actually have an option to open a demo account directly with MT5 or MT4. I would suggest creating a demo with the broker you use, because like I said, then you can test their spreads and their commissions and stuff like that. So you would open an account here, you would click open, and then you can actually go in and find your broker. So for example here, let's say Pepperstone, find your company. There we go. Pepperstone comes up, you would click them, and then when you go next, you would get to this little pop-up over here, where you would essentially, like I said, as soon as you have created your account on your broker, they will give you an account number and a password. Okay, so that's what you're putting in here. There's your password, and then this is the FTMO demo, because this is the trial account. So I'm busy doing a trial account on FTMO, so that essentially is my broker. So when you're taking prop challenges, the prop firm is your broker. Now they use different brokers themselves, but that is your broker. So it's the same as having a broker for example, Pepperstone. They will give you an account And once you're connected, you'll see over here, this is my balance. I'm currently sitting almost 1% up. We had a bad day yesterday, came back today, and we're back in the green. Okay, so here you can see I'm on trading view. Let's just do a quick little demonstration for you guys here, okay? So let's just say we go to the 1 minute, and it's not the best time to be trading, but I can see, let's say for example, we are ranging at the moment. We've had a push down, we're pushing back up. You see there's a big push down over there because of that candle. So let's just use that as a rejection candle. So I'm gonna say, okay, I want to be placing my sell here, my short, okay? So I just use this to get an idea of what that is gonna look like. I want my stop to be up there, and I'm gonna want my take profit just on that swing low over there. So that's kind of what my trade is going to look like. I'm happy with that. Now I would go over to the MT5 platform or the console, and I would actually place that trade. So let's do that. Okay, so like I said, guys, I now want to place my trade. So I'm not going to go too much into the risk management now. I'm just going to keep it basic. I am actually going to go to, let's just do a 0.1 lot. Now I will talk to you guys about lots and all of that as well. So now I am going to sell, like I just told you, based on my quick analysis. There's that rejection. I'm just going to sell here. Okay, so just like that, you can see over here, I am in that trade. Okay, so I'm currently sitting at 0.9, and you could see that the second I opened that, I was already in the red, and that is because of spread. Now you can see there's a lot of information over here. You've got it's actually not telling me the spread, but if you look at the watch, the market watch over here, Euro USD, you can see this is actually the spread over there. Okay, so you can see the difference between the bid and the ask. That is your spread. I can't quite tell what it is. I don't think it's very big, because you can see that normally you get an ask and a bid line. Okay, there we go. My analysis seems to be correct. So once you've placed your order, you want to just make sure you pull on that to get your stop. And I'm going to just put my take profit over there. So far it's going in my direction, so it's looking good. So this is the basic way that you can place your trade. You would do your analysis on trading view, and then you would come into your trading console, whatever platform you're using, MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, and you're essentially going to be placing your trade. Now there's a lot of other things that you can do. For example, you can double click on the price down here at the bottom on your open trade, and it gives you options. So you can essentially, we are on 0.1. So I can say my volume, let's say I want to close half of it. I can say 0.05, and then I can say I want to close that. So if we close that now, you'll see it closed right over there, half of my position. And then you can do stuff like moving your stop to break even, like that. I've now moved my stop to break even. So no matter what happens with this trade, I'm profitable. Okay, so very basic explanation. Now you've got to also get an understanding of how much you want to risk per trade. So depending on your account size, you want to look at your risk management. For the most part, okay, there we go. You can see it stopped me out, but it didn't actually touch me. Now that is spread right there, and that's what I said you've got to be very careful about. The spread is what took me out there, but it's fine. I'm out of that trade. I took a 50% position. I took 50% off the position, and then I moved my stop to break even. These are all sort of things that you will learn as you trade more and more. But for today's video, we're just talking about how to actually get in, how to analyze, and how to place those trades. So that is a basic example of a trade we've just done. What else can I tell you? So this is your buying and selling. Now you can also place pending orders. What is a pending order? So let's say based on your analysis, you are looking at price coming back down to the bottom over here. So let's just draw a line. So let's say you're looking at price coming down to there, for example. Now you can place a pending order. So you can put on you would say, I want to do a buy limit. So I'm going to place a buy limit of 0.1. I'm going to put that in. Now let me just remove this line and delete that. So now you can see that is my buy limit. Now that is not actually an executed order. It is just there waiting. So if price comes down to there, taps that, then I essentially will be entered into the market. So those are limit orders. Make sure you do your education, understand about limit orders. So basically that is how you would get in and out of your trades. And if you have a limit, you can double click on it and then you can do your stop. So let's just say we want the stop to be somewhere like there. I'll just create a take profit as well. You can't drag on that line yet because it's not an actual order yet. If I were to drag on that line, I'd just be moving it up and down. So let's modify that. And now you can see I've got my take profit and I've got my stop loss. And now I can actually drag those and move them around. So now the next thing I want to talk about, let's just delete that because we don't actually want that. Click on the close button there. That trade is now no longer in play. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is you can install this on your mobile device as well. I would not suggest trading on your mobile though, because trading on your mobile, you could get yourself into trouble. I would only do that if you have experience. I would only use MetaTrader 4 and 5 on your mobile to track your trade. So enter your trade on your desktop after you've got your analysis, and then I would just track your trade by using the mobile, but don't actually. And if, let's say for example, you don't have a stop and you've had to go out, then you can close it on your mobile. So your mobile would essentially be connected to the exact same account if that is the case. Okay, so now we're back to TradingView, and I do want to just take an opportunity here to say to you guys that this whole video is just educational. So be very careful when trading, because you know this is not financial advice. I am just explaining how these things all work, how you can actually get to a point where you are taking live trades, but that doesn't mean you should. I would always suggest to do your research, educate yourself, play around with demo accounts before you even think about entering the market. Make sure you are, trading on a demo till you have a strategy that works. And also never put in any money, any real money into a demo. I mean, never put any real money into an account that you cannot afford to lose. Okay, so always, if you are gonna risk any amount, only risk what you are willing to lose, because if you risk more than that and you lose it, it's going to be a very hard lesson to learn. So like I said, guys, this is not financial advice. This is just educational. So please be very careful when you are trading for real with real money. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is risk reward ratio, and you can get a very clear understanding of risk reward ratio on TradingView by using this tool, which is your long position or your short position, depending on whether you are going to be buying or selling. Okay, and the risk reward is based on wherever your stop loss is. So let's say, for example, this trade that I showed you now, my stop loss is going to be above there, and my take profit, let's say I have a set risk reward with my strategy, which is a 1 to 2, then I just drag this until you can see there the risk reward ratio is at 2. Okay, so that's how I would do that. But you can also get tools that you can tie in with MetaTrader 4 and 5 that do this automatically, and I've spoken about this on other videos, so make sure you check that out. Okay, guys, so I have gone over everything I can in terms of, keeping it simple, because at the end of the day, this is a beginner's guide. I didn't want to go into too much detail. I basically just wanted to give you the basics on how you can actually get to a point where you're taking your first trade. So we went over, what Forex is. We went over what a broker is and how to actually sign up for a broker, how to create a demo account, how to create a real account with a broker, how to do your deposits, all of that with the broker. And then once you've done the broker, we talked about analysis and using tools like TradingView, which is a very powerful tool, but then using that alongside and making sure that you're not forgetting about your news events and your economic calendar, because that can also give you a lot of information about what might happen in the market. And don't forget about that, because you could have the best analysis in the world, technical analysis in the world, but if there's a trading event that comes around the same time as you're planning to enter a trade and you have forgotten about, let's say for example, red folder news, then you can potentially end up losing a trade that you thought was a sure thing. So be very careful and make sure you're always looking at the news. And then what else did we go over? We went over the actual trading platform. We looked today at MT4 and MT5. Those are the ones that I use. They're probably the most popular. I showed you how to basically create an account or log into an account from MT5. Very basic. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I went into the basics of how to log into your account. Once you logged into your account, you would basically I also then showed you how to take a trade based on your analysis. So we went through all of those. We eventually got to a point that we could actually take a trade. I showed you live. I took a little trade. We got a very small win, but you know, it was all just educational and just giving you examples and showing you how to basically Forex trade, how to trade Forex. That is everything you need to know how to actually trade. Now, the next step would be for you to actually go ahead, get yourself some more education, find yourself a strategy, and then start testing that strategy and getting to a point that you can actually reliably and consistently take trades and actually make money. That's the end goal. So after today's video, I would not suggest jumping in, you know, putting a large sum of money in your broker account. I would actually rather suggest open a demo account and then just go and learn, create strategies, figure it out, try different strategies. There's a lot of strategies on our channel that you can go back and look at. And then once you are profitable on a demo account, once you have proven that you can be profitable on a demo account, only at that point would you ever consider going to a live account. And trust me, you can be very profitable on a demo, and then you go to a live and your psychology gets in the way. So, you know, this comes down to just experiencing it firsthand. And this is the start to that, getting into the market, figuring it out, trading live, even if it's a demo, and just getting an understanding of how markets move. And yeah, that's the basics for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, guys, there's no real shortcut to success, unfortunately, in the Forex markets. You have got to put in your time. You've got to stay focused. You've got to keep practicing, keep learning, and don't be scared to seek advice from others. You know, ask people for help. Find people online that know what they're talking about. And that's it, guys. That's the video today. I know it was a longer one. I had to go through a lot of stuff, but thank you for watching this guide, and I hope it was helpful for any of you beginner traders that are thinking about joining the Forex world. This is a starting point, and I hope it helped, and I hope it gave you some kind of guidance to actually getting into trading. That's it from me, guys. If you enjoyed this one, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. We've got so many videos on this channel on Blue Edge Financial that cover education. So, you know, I've talked about it before. I've talked about constantly educating yourself, and our channel is a good place to do that. So look over our videos, and yeah, get educated and get trading, guys, and good luck for the future. And I wish you all the best in your trading journey.